sports, swimming pool on tennis courts. It's all in rounds, sports report rounds, sports report rounds, sports report rounds, sports report rounds, sports report, baseball, basketball, volleyball too. Indoor, outdoor games for you. No matter if you're tall or short, it's all in rounds, sports report rounds, sports report rounds, sports report rounds, sports report rounds, sports report, yeah.
Good evening and welcome to Weho Sports. My name is Raul Alonso and I'm your host. Today we have a very special show. Of course, we've been talking about the Olympics and we're going to talk about some cancer survivors that are at the Olympic Games right now, and we have a very special guest and we'll tell you all about her in just a minute. So let's get right to it. Mr. Carl, welcome to the show.
Man, this has been great. The Olympics has been exciting. It's been wonderful. It's been powerful. It's been inspirational. And yes, there's been a lot of athletes this year with, I would say, disabilities, but not necessarily that they want to be called that.
Right.
Because they're thriving, they're supporting, and they've been so supportive and doing very well. We look at Fernando, what was his last name, Morales, and 18 years old. You know, it's amazing that he's there.
Well, Fernando was diagnosed with knee cancer.
Right.
He played soccer, and his dream was to go to the Olympics,
Right.
to meet some of the professional athletes. And the Massachusetts and Rhode Island Make-A-Wish Foundation were able to send him. So right now he's over there enjoying that time with meeting all the professional soccer players. So that's good for him.
I love the Make-A-Wish Foundation because it's grant wishes, for people that are, suffering and being able to meet their stars and people that they aspire to want to be and do. I mean, that's amazing. I love it. It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah. What about Eric Chantu, who was diagnosed with testicular cancer at age 28 in 2008? The Georgia native has competed in the U.S. Olympics trials where he made it to Beijing a week after he was diagnosed.
Right, right.
So that just shows the power of when you do exercise and you can work your mind and stuff, you can overcome
you can
certain
overcome
things.
any disease, any obstacles. If you just put your mind to it, you can succeed. Not speaking of we were just talking about Wu Mingxia, who just won she's a Chinese diver, just won the gold medal. Her mother died of cancer. Of course, the information was kept from her parents and her father because they didn't want to upset her and want to throw her off her game. And of course, cancer unfortunately runs in her family because her grandmother had passed away from cancer. And but again, people are living affected or infected, if you will, with cancer or any other types of diseases like this. But it's not stopping them, and that's a wonderful thing. We're some great human beings. Our species is awesome that we can survive all this stuff. It's really wonderful.
We also have Matt Emmons at age 31. He's an American rifle who was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Mm-hmm. What I'm bringing it up is I'm saying all these different Olympians, they have different kind of cancers because it's not just one kind of cancer. Right. And yet they are able to overcome that and compete and win gold. But when we'll talk to our guest, she'll tell us what makes people strong when they're
because she's a walking, living, loving role model. I mean, look at her. She's vibrant. She's beautiful. Her spirit is amazing. Just when she walked through the door, I was like, wow, this woman is not letting cancer hold her back. It's amazing. So we're going to do the introduction. So let's bring her on.
Let's talk about our guest. Her name is Katy Franco. She's a Latina actress, celebrity, and extremely funny stand-up comic. She is a co-author of Chemorella. She's also a certified laughter leader and an inspiration speaker. Katy has performed in the U.S., Puerto Rico, Venezuela, and also in Argentina. Some of her acting credits include dramatic and comedy roles in theaters, soap operas, film, and miniseries. She also worked for Telemundo, so there's a lot. She has also received an award for the Best Supporting Actress. She has hosted a children's television series on HBO called Latino in Hollywood, and has been an entertainment reporter for Telemundo. She has performed her comedy in the most prestigious venues like the Laugh Factory, the Improv, and the Ice House, and many more. In 2006, she announced that she had breast cancer, and she chose Puerto Rico to do that. So we'll ask her why she chose Puerto Rico to announce. She has appeared in countless news program, magazine articles, and newspaper stories. She has passed the last 6 years educating Latinas about early detection, and she has created a one-woman show called The Breast Years of My Life.
I love it.
You had a little problem saying that word, the breast of my life. It's okay.
Where cancer meets comedy, and always, of course, comedy always wins. She's also a co-author with her husband of this book, Chemorella. The book has 28 beautiful pictures. She also wrote the book in Spanish and in English.
Right.
It's kids-friendly, very informative, and very educational. So, welcome, señorita.
Ay, gracias. Muchas gracias. Saludos a todos. Hello. Se habla español, inglés, a little sign language, un petit de français.
See? Wow.
Isn't she beautiful? She's wonderful. That's all right.
Thank you, thank you. You too. I feel honored to be next to two handsome papitos.
I will offer you a drink, but I know you can't drink. So.
Who said I can't?
That's true. I was just assuming. I was just assuming.
I might have to drink after this show.
So tell us something that I didn't say in this amazing intro.
I mean, you read her life story. I mean, it's wonderful.
Let me start with, we've been laughing here, and it's been great, and thank you for all those compliments. And, you know, we've been talking about survivors in the Olympics, and what is it that motivates people to just continue and to fight or to overcome adversity, like I overcame breast cancer, and you also are a survivor overcoming AIDS, and I think that it's pretty simple. I think that we grasp to life. You know, we have passion for life. You hear about all these young people that have not lived their life, that have had all these dreams, and they want their dreams to come true. I think we just grasp to life, and we give it all we want. Even if I hear sometimes, oh, if this is what was given to me, this is what I have to accept it.
Right,
it's necessarily not that way. Right. I think people fight to the last moment. I think people, in general, I think that we have passion for life, whether we know it or we don't know it. Yeah. And I think there's a force. It's like an automatic instinct of human beings to try to preserve life and to live and to fight, because we're fighters, we are survivors of life.
Exactly, and it does no good to go into your closet or be at home on the couch or in the bed feeling sorry for yourself, living in, being in the dumps, being depressed. You emerge out of that, whatever adversity you're going through, and like you're teaching the world about, surviving breast cancer, and you do it in such a positive, wonderful image. You're a role model for young girls and women of all ages. Men too, because men can get breast cancer. It's not
absolutely,
that, but it's
absolutely
true. And that's the beauty of it, because people, it's inspiring, and it makes others that say, you know what, I'm like her, I'm one of her, and I can be like her. I can get off my couch, and I can start making a difference in this life. And that's beautiful.
So thank you. I mean, there's a reason why we women call men like couch potatoes. They're sitting on the couch and they're using that remote control, and we're going like, can they stop it? You guys don't have this.
Have you been in my house?
No, but you guys,
Right.
But I think that it is true. I think in general, if you sit and you're just watching TV and you're just feeling sick, and you adopt the victim position, right. Remember, I come from a Latin culture, and a lot of Latin cultures, the word victim is a very common word, even in the soap operas, there's always the victim, the poor girl that everybody abuses, till finally, the man comes and saves her, And so I think that if we decide to live in victimhood, in a victimhood address, that's what we're going to do. We're going to lay there. We're going to have no energy. You know, during cancer, during any kind of medications that they give you to overcome an illness, they give you chemicals and they give you, if you don't get up, if you don't walk, those muscles are going to go to mush, you're going to feel weak, then people don't want to eat. I ate like a cow. Let me tell you something. The one thing my father said was, you eat, 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 so you can keep that immune system strong. In fact, I gained like 14 pounds. Wow. So if anyone had a doubt that I was Puerto Rican, when they were, when they were looking at me on their side, they went, vaya, she is Latina, nena. You know, the cuckoo was there. So,
but you also went in a diet for a whole year.
Well,
tell us about it.
What I had heard, because it's so interesting that when one is diagnosed with cancer, everyone wants to give you all kinds of advice: what you should eat, when you should eat it, when you should do this, how you should do it, you know. And lots of times it's pretty comical. So I touch on those subjects, you know, in the Woman Show, the best years of my life. But I had heard. Obviously, salmon. It's known that fish and salmon, you know, is healthy, and broccoli is an anti-cancer vegetable. So what I did is basically I ate salmon and raw broccoli for a whole year.
That's great.
It was like I ate it all the time. My body was able to digest it. I was and then after that, you know, I took a little break, you know, but I ate it because I knew that it was healthy, and I knew there's certain things that you can't eat. And I'm not giving any kind of a doctor's advice or anything. So just don't. In my case, you know, when they're giving you medications, you know, there's a lot of the vitamin C and a lot of the good stuff that you kind of have to hold on a little bit, so the medication has does the work it has to do, and then you start getting healthy and doing those kinds of things. So in my case, I'm always going to talk about my case. That's what I did, and so. And then I had like all this support and all this love around me, and so that helped.
Let me ask you, I just want to ask you a question. The moment that you're diagnosed, of course I understand that that's hard and it was devastating, but there was a transformational period, a transition period for when you said, you know what, enough of this. You may have gone through a period of depression, or maybe, I don't know if you accepted it right away and was okay, but I know for me, diagnosed with AIDS, I went through a moment where, you know, I was like, oh, Jesus, death is imminent, because I was extremely ill. However, there was a moment where I said, okay, enough is enough. Now I'm going to take back my power and take back my life. Can you walk us through that moment that happened with you?
Yeah, well, I congratulate you for that. In my case, when I was told that I had breast cancer, I wasn't told on the phone, but the doctor had called me twice, and doctors don't call you at all for anything, you know. You know, just to get the bills, you know, well, you owe me money, but they don't call you. And so I knew that there was something, because I had had a biopsy, and I didn't think that the results had come in so quickly. And so when they come in quickly and they're calling you, you kind of think, oh my God, what's going on here? So my first reaction, I was in awe. I was like, I couldn't cry, I couldn't do anything. I was like, and I was on the phone, and she just said, where are you? Can you come to my office? I already knew. I already knew when she said that what she was going to tell me. So for me, it was like, this is not me, it's wrong, it's someone else's, it just cannot be me. Why can't it be me? Because I thought I was healthy. I exercised all the time. I had been a gymnast. I had been a ballerina. I had danced flamenco. I mean, you name it, I had done it. You know, and so I was very into sports. I was very into being healthy. I was very into, I mean, I couldn't understand that me having, of all people, cancer, it's not in my family. So I thought, what's going on here? Unless it's all the chicken I ate as a single woman with the estrogen, I thought.
You need to stop. You are not great. I should give you a yellow card, but it's not yellow. This is actually a Chemorella necklace that we're going to be talking about in a little bit.
So when I got to the office, I called my mom, because my mom is in Puerto Rico, because I am Puerto Rican, and that's why I announced it in Puerto Rico. I am from Puerto Rico, and I was raised there my whole life, and Spanish is my first language, and my whole family was there, and I had a whole country, I had a whole career that I had had as an actress in Puerto Rico, so I felt I needed to announce it. But anyway, when I first found out I was the actress, the drama-rican, because the drama is in us, you know. Drama can be even an addiction, and we women Latinas, we're very dramatic. And so, I know men are too, believe me. So for me, this was like, I was in a movie that I did not audition for. This is a role I didn't audition for. I always knew I could play this role very well when I saw the movies, because I'm a character actress, but I never thought I was going to live a character that I only thought that I could do in movies. You know, and it was very dramatic for me, you know, and when my boyfriend came, you know, we had been together for 3 years, and you know, I ran to him and I hugged him and I said, hey, you never married me, and now I've been diagnosed, and, you know, he's like looking at me like, oh my God, you know, and I'm like, Papa, why didn't you marry me, you know, because I hadn't been married.
So is that the reason why he married you?
No, he kept me mantuvo sufriendo, he kept me suffering, and I saw Papa for 3 more years before, but no, he was just sweet. He's another story. But anyway, that's how I reacted at the beginning.
Right.
And then I went, it was like, and I was diagnosed like it was Memorial Day weekend. So people were going to go away for the weekend. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I have a tumor in me. How can they go away and party in a weekend when I need to get this out of my body? So immediately I switched. I didn't even think that I could die. What I said is, I need to get this out of my body. And believe me, in 4 days from the moment I was diagnosed to meeting the surgeon, I had my surgery. It was like a miracle.
Wow.
Because my surgeon worked at the St. John's Hospital. So I was there. I convinced them. It was like, they probably thought, you know, what kind of patient is it? I'm like, please, can you do the surgery now? And they're probably thinking, what is she? Because I learned my father is a doctor and my mother registered nurse and other things like a teacher and all these other things. But, you know, he said, you know, when you have something in your body that doesn't belong there, you do something about it quickly. And so I'm here by myself. I don't have family. There was no time for my father and my mother to travel. And I said, you know, I'm going to do it. And I actually convinced them, and I had the surgery, and I did everything, one thing after another. That's why I always say that there's a force that makes you do things quickly.
Right.
So anyway, to answer your question, I was very dramatic at the beginning, and then I became, from serious, I became silly. And then, you know, I became funny, and I
you owned it. Sounds like
my
you owned it and just came.
my comedic gifts came out, because I was a comedian before I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I kept being a comedian during my breast cancer, and I became a better comedian after my breast cancer.
That is a wonderful story.
But I
That's
think
awesome.
we all go through those things. I was diagnosed with full-blown AIDS in 1991. So that's when everybody was dying, and there was no hope. So I know that initial shock, just to think that you're going to die and all of the things and how you break it to your family, it could be very overwhelming.
Yes.
But I know you had great support with your husband. I mean, with your boyfriend then, and now your husband. So you did convince him to marry you,
finally
right?
married me, you know. I'm a great catch. Anyway, yeah, but it's. I think that when you have family, and I've played a very interesting role in my family. I played a savior. And the savior is the person that's always trying to help the others and save the others, the same way that I'm trying now to help and save other people. So I needed to be strong for my boyfriend at the time, Co Author of Chemorella, Ken Phillips. I wanted him to remember me. There was a moment where I thought, oh my God, something could happen here. You know, when they start doing all the scans and they do the bone scan, I go, oh my God. What if there's a little one of those things there that just slipped and went somewhere it shouldn't go? And then I started going, whoa. And then I felt, I need to do something here drastic, because I want to live. Because I had met a wonderful man.
That's beautiful.
Never had a healthy relationship in my life. This was the first time that I had found someone that loved me deeply and that I really loved. And I said, I need to live because I need to experience love.
Right.
I need to be in a healthy relationship. You know, I lived in Hollywood for a long time, so a lot of wackos, you know, some are in jail. I don't want to talk about that. That's another show. But anyway, so yeah.
Talking about Hollywood, you have a very long acting career. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your acting career?
Well, I came from theater, and then I came from doing Latin American soap operas, and then I did a children's show in Puerto Rico called Circo Fantástico for Telemundo. And then
I remember watching that.
I worked in Circo Fantástico, Circo Fantástico. Anyway, I was like a shusha, which is a Latin American also MC that had a children's show, but you know, she was really sexy and stuff. But anyway, nice. I did miniseries, and I played a young mom of a girl that had Down syndrome. My daughter had Down syndrome, and I got Best Supporting Actress Award for that. And so I was being identified a lot with different causes, like I did Children of a Lesser God, so I learned the sign language for a year to play a deaf girl and help the community. And so I did all of that. When I moved to Los Angeles, I was not Puerto Rican enough. I was not ethnic enough. I think that that Hollywood never really knew kind of what to do with me. And so I had done a lot of comedy in Puerto Rico. And I've always been funny. I always liked imitating people, and I always had a very life and bitterness makes you funny. And from tragedy comes comedy. So out of my tragic life, I became very funny. And so when I came to Hollywood, the thing was stand-up comedy. And I was like, what's that? You just stand up and you're just like funny. And then one day, put a little name in a hat. They pulled out my name. I said, hi. I went up on stage. I said, hi, I'm Catherine. I'm Puerto Rican. And they go, ah, ha, ha, ha. I go, what are they laughing at, you know? Long story short, I started doing stand-up comedy. I love it. I've been doing it since 1996. And it's the most amazing experience to have that gift to make people laugh and be on stage and just have, it's life. And so that helped me also fight, you know, the breast cancer, because I was at the Laugh Factory on that stage making a full house laugh, and that I would always do it the day before my chemotherapy. So then the next day I went, I was going with my shoes, my big, you know, Gaga shoes.
Which we love, by the way. These shoes are hot. Can you get a shot of these?
Just
Look at
put it
that.
on.
Yeah, I know that. They both want my shoes.
Well, now.
Those are not going to the next parade. I don't think so.
I'm not going to fight for those high heels.
We're going to do the show in drag. We said we're going to try. I've never put on a dress in my life.
I will sell them to you.
For Halloween. So I said, you know, let's try it. So, you know.
You can dress like me
He's
for
going to be
Halloween.
Charo.
I'd be a good Charo.
With the fruits.
Chiquita banana.
Chiquita banana. We have a couple clips. We're going to show a clip right now, and then we come back and we can talk about your book.
Okay.
Okay, because we got about 5 minutes. So if you want, we can stop over the video and tell us what's basically going on here. I know it's a lot of things.
It shows my acting career before I was diagnosed, and then how I got diagnosed, and there was that serious moment, you know, and then how I turned it into using my laughter, and how I became happy again. That performance at the Laugh Factory was during my and I became insanely funny. So, and then, you know, after the fact, I think a year later, as my husband and I, Ken Phillips and I, were creating Chemorella, I started immediately working with the communities and helping Latino women and getting the word out there, and children with cancer, and talking at the center there.
So it's such a good thing, kissing a young girl, you doing your kiss on her forehead,
Yes.
touching her face. It's so beautiful. I mean, it's just having the power to touch people's lives, and again, it's so inspiring. So you can transcend any age condition, you can make it through.
And I think that women and people, I am reachable. Mm-hmm. I am not someone that they're looking up and they can't, you know, touch or they can't talk to. I'm very available for people, and I think that people then, you know, identify with me, and women think, oh my God, she says, you know, she got depressed after she did all her treatments. I really got depressed. I had two choices. Sure. I either went on medication again and never got out of my depression, because then after all that medication, you're thinking, what am I going to do with my life? What kind of woman I'm going to be? Or you write a show, and that's where I wrote The Best Years of My Life with Frankie Carrasquillo, a fellow.
So let's talk about your show, because we got about a couple minutes. It flew so fast that we didn't even get to talk to half of the things that we wanted to talk. Tell us about your show while he plays the other clip.
Well, The Best Years of My Life, it's one night, it's the premiere in the U.S., it's at the Laugh Factory, and it's the story of overcoming breast cancer, the light side of it. It's funny, it's inspiring. I do characters. I talk about all the different topics, from reactions of people to my diagnosis, what people want me to do, medical marijuana.
I'll be there.
It's going to be August 20th. It's Monday, August 20th at 8 p.m. at the Laugh Factory. The Best Years of My Life, where cancer meets comedy and comedy wins. And you're going to have a little surprise with Chemorella, the book Chemorella, which you can get at Amazon.com, and you can get at Chemorella.com. Visit us. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and I want everybody to go to The Best Years of My Life, because it's going to be an experience that you are going to never forget. You're going to experience laughter therapy. You're going to be laughing. You're going to be having a great time. At the same time, it's going to give you that inspiration to know that you can overcome anything that life presents you. So I want survivors, no survivors, the best years of my life. Come and support breast cancer, support overcoming adversity, and see me at the Laugh Factory August 20th at 8 p.m. You can go to thebestyearsofmylife.com, and it will link you directly to the Laugh Factory and get your tickets, so you can have a great time. And it's in English, and
don't forget to get tested. Breast cancer, HIV, get tested.
Get tested, yes. Prevention, early detection saves lives.
Absolutely.
Wow, that was so fast. I hope you can come back again.
I will.
Bring your husband in, because I know he was the co-author.
Then you're going to want my husband if I bring him in.
We didn't even get a chance to talk about your necklace that your husband and you have created. So.
Well, my husband designed a silhouette. It's because Chemorella, it comes from chemotherapy and Cinderella, and that's why she's Chemorella. And he created the silhouette a little, it's like a Cinderella, but with no hair. Let me see, I can put it this way. Okay, there you go. And it's a universal, image of overcoming adversity, and it's powerful. It's kind of in a mirror way, because it doesn't have an ethnicity, it doesn't have religion, it's just universal. It's everybody who is overcoming adversity. And so you wear this around your neck and you support everyone that is a survivor, that is fighting for their life, and that are out there in the battlefield.
That's wonderful. I love it. It's gorgeous. Beautiful.
Thank you again for coming.
You're welcome. And, the best years of my life. You gotta go?
Of course.
The best years of my life. Yes. At the Laugh Factory,
What
August
are the
20th.
chances that we can come and film you?
That you can come in and film?
And film your
You
act.
could, if you don't take my shoes. my shoes.
I was gonna.
I know. I'm having security there for my shoes, and everybody wants my shoes.
I was gonna say as an exchange for your shoes, but no, he's the one that wants to wear that shoes.
What size are they?
Size 10. I'm a big size.
Look, all I would do with your shoes is put them in a nice, beautiful case and just admire them.
Well, we
all.
could auction them and then donate that money to someone that really needs it, that needs treatment, and that needs TLC, and that needs support. I'm going to think about that because there is a second pair, but I'm not going to announce it right now because they're going to get bombarded with people that want my shoes. I am not giving my shoes to anybody.
But I know next month is Breast Cancer Month, and
October.
we would love to have you back. And,
I would love
please
to
come
be
back.
back
this went
here.
so
You're
fast, and
amazing.
you got so much to talk about it.
If you promise me something,
Yes.
Yes.
we will all dress in pink.
Okay.
Okay, we're all dressed
Got
in
it.
pink.
Can't
Bye,
do it. Can't
bye,
do it.
Bobby.
I got
Okay,
you.
Yes, we will.
everybody.
Thank you again. See you next week, same time, same channel.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
That went fast. I didn't even get to ask